A really good night for footy, not just the big league, but the little league as well. Have a look at the smiles on the dial of these young kids, and the kicking action superb, and they're all enjoying each other's work, and they just love the middle of the MCG, both claiming the glory there. Whose goal will it be? And one guy not so happy about it. He thought, no, that wasn't that good. And we've got a very, very in-form Sydney Swans here at the moment. 7-7-49 to Melbourne 139. Cameron Ling's at ground level.
Well, BT, a very in-form Sydney, as you said, but they do have a couple of injury concerns so far in this game. Isaac Heaney subbed out of the game, as we said before the break. Adam Good's in. The other one is Jake Lloyd. You can see him kick and just have his foot landed on there. He rolled over on the ankle and straight away felt it. He obviously got a lot of treatment, re-strapped at half-time. He was late joining the group back on the ground after the half-time break, doing a bit of a warm-up away from the group by himself. So he's a little bit proppy. There's potential that if that doesn't warm up again, that Sydney could be one down on the bench, because Heaney, as I mentioned, has been subbed out. But they're going to test Lloyd out. They're obviously not too worried about it structural. It's just whether or not the pain will restrict him at all.
Yeah, nice work, Lee. Thanks for that update. Looks like he's moving okay. Jake Lloyd, as we know, Isaac Heaney, real concerns about that young star and his knee. Adam Goods subbed into the game. So the second half underway, Spencer. Look at Kennedy's like a bull. Jeffy Garlett started in the centre bounce. So we want to see what Melbourne can do here. They really need to respond. It's a big night for their football club, Richo. And let's be blunt about it. One goal in the first half is just not good enough. They really need to show some character here and make a competition of this second half.
Absolutely they do. So you expect a response pretty early in this quarter. It's a one-on-one game, and when it's like this, it's just a team that's prepared to work harder.
Franklin has been well up the ground tonight. McDonald's done a pretty good job on him. Jetta has been evasive and quick and skillful, as we know he is. Kick around the corner. Well, they've got some numbers back there. Spencer went in the fist. Look at the courage from Daniel Cross. Put his body on the line. Tyson Kennedy just bulldozed his way through and was too easy in the end. Joey Kennedy, he's got two. And the first goal in the first minute of the second half.
Well, Josh Kennedy, he is just so strong in the contest. But Dom Tyson, that's disappointing. You need to make a statement at the start of this third quarter after such a disappointing first half. You've got to nail those tackles. They're simple ones. Don't let him go.
Hey, Lingy, can you see often games open up in the second half? I'm just not sure about this one. Can you see this one opening up?
No, Sydney will be happy to play it the same way that it's been played in the first half, because they've totally dominated it. I just can't see Melbourne now just throwing all caution to the wind and playing an open, free-flowing style. They're going to try and battle away, but they're going to have to do a hell of a lot better at it than they did in the first half, because Sydney destroyed them.
Kennedy Harris with a little poker through there. Dawes couldn't quite get hold of that one where he needed to. Now McVeigh. 250th game he'll play next week. Jared McVeigh been an absolute star of the competition. Over the head there, and they've got it locked in deep again. Watch them apply the clamp here, Sydney now.
Yeah, it's looking like it might be the same story in the second half. Since Billy Stretch kicked his goal, it has been 32 inside 50s to 8 Sydney's way. Just a domination.
That was around the 11-minute mark of the first quarter. Here's Goods, started as a sub. He wants to prove a point. Goods get involved in the play. It was a nice pick-up, unselfish centering kick. Jetta, Vandenberg got a fist on it. Coming through, Reid back in the side, but he's been a little quiet. He wants it. Major under pressure. Only able to kick it through on the narrow side for a minor score.
Just can't get any space on Tommy McDonald. Yet again, McDonald is there to put enough pressure on to force that kick wide.
Well, St Kilda, who aren't the all-conquering side this year, came from behind, further behind than what Melbourne are right now today. I was there and I witnessed it, and you would not have believed it.
Was it similar to this, BT? Was it that dominant, the Dogs?
The Dogs were incredibly dominant in the first half.
Like here.
Absolutely. Yeah. But this game is a lot tighter. A lot tighter. Sydney aren't letting Melbourne find space and time. That is for sure. Can they maintain that vigilance? Parker brushing the tackle of Spencer. But he went and then he backed off. Now he's got McDonald in a good position. Clever knock to McGlynn. Shows him a little bit of his evasive skill. Well done there, Benny McLean. Goes back into Buddy, but Bernie Vince is there.
It was smart played from Franklin initially. Didn't take possession, tapped it down to McGlynn.
So here go the Demons. Lumumba just found a little bit of space to Hogan. Got to go extremely wide to find the space. Salem now. Good kick of the footy. Watch for Jeffy! Over the top, couldn't hold it. Got the nice little sit though. Now an opportunity for him. Left foot over the shoulder. And Garlett kicks the goal. Well, I'm not sure what happened here, but Jeffy went back for a little bit of a niggle at Smith, and then McVeigh flew the flag, and then it was, well, Hulk Hogan did visit Melbourne this week, didn't he?
Yeah, the Hulkster was down there. He went down to visit Jesse Hogan. He reckoned that there's only one Hogan worth anything, and it's the Hulkster, not Jesse.
Parker torpedoed one out of the centre, bounce to Jack, to Tippett. He kicked 3 in a row in the second quarter. Buddy, he wanted it. Make it 4 goals to Tippett. Swans get the quick reply.
Well, it was great ball control around the corner for his 4th goal there, Kurt Tippett, and that equals his best haul of goals here at the MCG. So he's getting his fair share down there. Pike doing well in the ruck contests as well. Kennedy Harris trying to get through traffic there. Laidler, very sharp hands over the top. Gee, that was good. Look at Jeddah. Some wheels and some real composure here. Kick a little over the head of where he wanted it, but he's got Buddy the backup. Can he keep it in play? I think he did, and then he missed it. He just got a little Hollywood as he released the kick. It was interesting, though.
He just couldn't quite pull up there, Bud. To rest against the post.
I sense he's not happy, but there's a 47-point margin. He hasn't registered a major, and he wants a piece of it badly. Here come the Demons to Dawes, fisted away by Grundy. Howe working up the ground. Richo, they might look at making that move.
Sorry, Das. This is where it gets hard for the opposition. There's Buddy with the #1 defender, Tom McDonald. We have a look here. He just couldn't quite stop in time, get it back onto his foot. But this is where Tippett cashes in. He takes the #1 defender, and when you've got 2 guys as big and talented, Tippett gets the opportunity to cash in against probably the 2nd best defender.
How do you not score, though, when you're 2 feet out?
He just couldn't quite get the bend on the ball there. The pressure came on his leg.
Well, Lingy, as we see...
I won't make any comment on that at all, but I reckon it's very difficult from that range.
You've made an art form of that, Lingy.
Lingy was 1 metre out straight in front, though, Brian.
Under all sorts of pressure, though, Rick.
That's just about the biggest miss in history, Lingy, there.
Yeah. Well, there's been not much to equal it, Richo, so nothing to compare it with. Good, stumpy little kick. He knew as soon as he kicked it that it wasn't right, and he mops up a second opportunity here. Jack turned on a threepenny bit. Mitchell went back to Hanbury, put him under pressure. And now Mitchell trying to work onto that left boot. Goes down the line. Kennedy. Watch Rowan go over the top. Really nice launch from Gary Rowan. Tippett offers the lead. He ignored that. I'm pretty sure he should have taken it. Now Buddy comes forward, and that's the direction it go. The 2 talls there for Sydney. In the end, Buddy stayed down. A little nonchalant knee lock. Now he puts Lumumba under pressure. Gives it to McDonald. McDonald eases it out of the way. Kick's got to be good. Stretch. 3 Sydney players just attack the first gamer.
Up to 40 inside 50s now, and Franklin hasn't kicked a goal, so you've got to sing the praises of McDonald.
We're searching for Melbourne positives, and Billy Stretch, the debutant, he's looked really comfortable out on the big stage against a really good opposition. Lumumba has found the going tough himself tonight to Dawes. Might have been a little push in the back from Grundy. Umpire said not enough for a free kick. Here come the Swans again. They've got time to go back and get it by McVeigh. Short one on to Kieran Jack.
Still at 15 though, Franklin, so he's always in the game. He's not on the scoreboard. He's still getting plenty of the football.
Disposal number 17 for Kieran Jack. He's just had 19 and 18 disposals the last 2 games, so he's slightly out of form. Kieran Jack, but they're all filling their boots up tonight, the Swans, including Kurt Tippett with 4 goals already. He got too close to the man on the mark. And as a result, Lloyd, good to see him back out there with a bit of an ankle injury, and we'll have a boundary throw-in.
Looking a little poppy, but he is there. Tippett doing the forward line ruck work here. Tyson with the clearing kick around the body. Hogan. Love the way this guy competes.
He competes, but he just hasn't been able to be involved in any contest because it just hasn't got to him.
That one he wants to keep boundary side if he can, over the head of Dawes, and Jack under some tackling pressure here from Jeffy Garlett. Wrapped up was Grundy. Pye lets it go. Howe to Garlett. 2-on-1 here. Reid.
You talk about Jesse Hogan's, the fact that he just hasn't had the ball in his area to be able to compete. They've only had the 17 inside 50s, which is super low. He'll be looking forward to the day that his teammates can get the ball in a hell of a lot more than that, give him more of an opportunity.
Well, they got torched there. Lloyd had run 150 metres and they decided to come in board to Goods. And now to McVeigh. This is a little bit too easy at the moment. Look at the time and space. McVeigh will definitely make it pay. And Hanbury, that was just too easy on the rebound. They got free and worked a bit harder, Richo.
Oh, they did. It's as simple as that. When Reid took that mark in defensive 50, you just watched the transition run from Sydney and they were just prepared to work a lot harder. And that's why they had loose players and an easy inside 50 entry. I mean, the defenders can't stop that. You can't blame the back six there. The transition in defence from Melbourne wasn't good enough then.
Norm Smith medal winner from 2012, Daniel Hanbury, is an aerobic animal. Daniel Cross has tried to go with him tonight, and Hanbury kicks his first goal of the evening. So what a beautiful setting that is. Daniel Cross, the tagging job on Dan Hanbury. Let's have a look at his favourite movie via Presto. Rocky 3 for Crossy.
What a show that is.
I was a Rocky 4 man myself. Ivan Drago.
I like Clubber Lang, Mr. T. Got the job done.
Surprised you can remember what's what. I mean, there's that many of them.
No, the Rocky 3 was really good.
Tumpus, Cross.
He got a bit carried away with himself in Rocky 3, and Clubber Lang
got a bit ahead of himself.
Yeah, he got ahead of himself.
The original Rocky won the Academy Award, Richo, for Best Picture, I think back in 1976 or something.
It did.
Standards not very high then. Garlett.
That's a great movie, Rocky, the original.
Vandenberg. Centering ball, Bernie Vince elevates. McVeigh kept his feet. Now Buddy, as you say, accruing the possessions at will. McGlynn.
Right there.
Rowan wants it in front. He still wants it. And he didn't kick it out in front enough, but Rowan made the kick look a little better than it was. Still good, but Rowan will line up 35 metres out on a 45-degree angle. We'll be right behind him on this kick.
Lingy, you're just noticing at ground level that the transition run, Melbourne just aren't putting enough pressure on at the moment.
Yeah, too easy the way that Sydney are able to use the ball. They're working hard to provide an option, Sydney, but no pressure on the kicker means that they've got time to be able to hit up those targets, and plenty of marks inside 50 when that happens.
Tumpus needed to take the body then. Rowan comes in and sticks it to the left. Two female goal umpires here tonight, Chelsea Roffey, and at the other end, Rose O'Day, doing a marvellous job.
Ben McGlynn, wait for the call, mate.
So the field umpires lined up down the middle, and this is another spiral from Lyndon Dunn. That's his second one tonight. That one's gone a little bit further than the first one. Just something different, trying to get something through the middle. But have a look at the Sydney jumpers line up behind this and just form the wall. Very little hope of getting that through there. Hez Cross, pursued by Jack.
Well, he's 2 from 2, Lyndon Dunn. He's nailed both of those torps, so at least that cleared the offensive area.
Richo, just sorry to interrupt there. Isaac Heaney, you can see him on the bench, subbed out. Spoken to Sydney, and they believe there is no ACL damage, which is the good news, but he will have scans early on this week, just to determine how serious that knee is, but they're confident it's not an ACL.
Salem through some traffic. Once again, Reid there to enjoy Rampy. Grundy as well. 4-on-4 in that contest there, but Sydney somehow come out with a bit of ease, and Smith involved now, and they just spread magnificently, the Swans defenders.
I think the word with ease is the concerning one, as Reid on that occasion had it fisted away from him. Vandenberg competed well. Hey, Lee, I just want to ask you, I think Sydney are just about the best team in the competition. In fact, I think at full strength, they might go on and win it this year, but This is Melbourne's almost biggest night of the year. It's a Saturday night football, the BCNA game. It's starting to get embarrassing for Melbourne. Just 2 goals. It's been a fairly disappointing night, you'd have to say. Yeah, Das, really disappointed with Melbourne's performance so far. Nathan Jones, the skipper, spoke during the week that they were embarrassed by last week's effort against Freo. I expected them to come out so much better than this. They've had a bit of a crack at times, but now just so easy to play against, haven't used the ball well. Disappointing effort by the Demons. And they go inside 50 again, read the loose man back. You can see the numbers. They're going to be able to force one here. Vandenberg did pretty well. Couldn't get the soccer off the ground straight, and it hit the goal post.
I can't remember, Das, the last time Melbourne had, say, 3 consecutive kicks that have hit the target or had the space to hit the target.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. They haven't been able to get any flow happening at all.
Hold there, Jay.
I think what's happened is that they just came out with a plan. It didn't quite work in the first 8 or 9 minutes, and then they've just gone so within themselves. There's no run. Their kicking has been really poor, and I think when they review this game, as Paul Roos will do, it will be a really soul-searching night for the Melbourne Football Club. Here they go again, Jack. It's a good opposition. The Swans are going to dominate a lot of teams, but disappointing effort. Kennedy goes forward again, and Daniel Cross got back and got in the right position.
Here's an opportunity now, a fast exit from defensive 50.
Hogan worked hard. McDonald has been outstanding. Real shining light.
And you can throw in Christian Salem there too, Das. He's had the 18 disposals, young player. He hasn't been overawed. He's continued to try and take the game on, continued to try and run off that half back, but there haven't been too many other blokes who've joined in as well. Nathan Jones has tried hard at the contest, but gee, you look across that ground at the Melbourne players. And
Jack Watt's getting ready there, Lingy.
Yeah, he's warming up a little bit. He's keen to get out there and get involved. But gee, there's not too many winners for Melbourne at the moment.
OK, well, the green vest comes off for Jack Watts, and just a matter of who gets handed the dreaded red. As Goods advances the footy in the Franklin direction, as Dar said, hasn't kicked one tonight. Had a couple of opportunities, and here's another. McDonald was good with the harassing pressure. Goods straight at the footy. Really well done. Lined it up magnificently. Gary Rowan caught
the ball, Melbourne.
by Garland.
They've got to try and get something out the other side of the ground here. You come back down this member's side, just play into the Swans' hands.
He's had 8 tackles, Colin Garland. Good effort, Richo.
Yeah, it is. It's a high tackling game, as we've noted a few times.
There's Reid, just got rid of Pedersen a little too easy.
Come out.
Gee, if he wants to go over the top, he can to Parker, and there it is. Now they're away. We know McVeigh's a really good user of the footy. Have a look at that. Slicing kick to McGlynn.
It's just very predictable at the moment. Straight back out this member's side. Swans force a turnover, and then the floodgates open in the corridor for them.
Mine.
Boy, that is not a good sign for Melbourne, that Parker can pop into there. Lumumba asking the question of his teammates, how and why?
Absolutely.
How and why is discipline and concentration, BT. That's not good enough to be able to allow an uncontested mark there. Cam Peterson is the bloke who's been subbed off for the Demons, and Jack Watts is into the game.
Parker to put the finishing touches on this one, and he doesn't miss.
Jack Watts makes his entrance onto the MCG, and he ran straight into Reece Shaw, who gave him a little shirt front, a little welcome to the ground, and looking forward to seeing young Jack on display tonight. It was his 100th game last week. He only had the 7 touches, and see if he can come out. Here he is, number 4 on screen, and show a bit of spirit. They need a lift desperately. Well, this is what greeted him onto the ground. Thanks for coming.
Just in case you're not awake.
You wouldn't expect any less, would you, from the Swans? Sydney are now rolling Mitchell and Parker in the forward 50. Gee, they've changed it up down there tonight.
Well, there was Jack. That was his first possession. He drove it forward. The Swans' defence have been super well organised. A little toe poke. Found its way back. Jeffy. He's going to have to kick it to a 1-on-2. Hogan, that's very hard to compete against that.
Jess, hold. Thank you.
You ever heard anyone get the Bronxies when they come on and get?
Was that a Bronxie? I thought I heard it. I don't know. I didn't want to go with it just in case it wasn't, but it was certainly some sort of reception for Jack. I hope it wasn't.
They're very hard on Watts.
They are.
Their supporters, all about the number he was picked at.
That's it's not fair. He didn't choose to be picked at number 1.
It's Jack, Hogan and Jones. How involved. Vince and Watts combined twice. A little slow getting it onto the boot. Now Tyson back to Watts again. Reed all over him. Kennedy with a look away handball to Mitchell. Now Lloyd. He just props and stops. He didn't panic. See a lot of players run forward in that position, run into a tackle, but he was able to stop. And now Hogan can go in the middle to McDonald if he wants.
Move it on. High on.
Just not much movement in front of him here.
It is stagnant, Richo. Stagnant.
I know this number's back and you think there's nowhere to lead, but you've just got to lead and lead past someone. It might drag a Swans player out, create a little bit of a tension. You lead fast past someone, they get out of the way. It might open up a little bit of space for someone else. You can't just stand still.
There's a bit of cheer. It's almost like they're playing one-on-one for a rare time in their careers and they don't know how to handle it. Vandenberg's got it. Kicks deep. Laidler interfered with Kennedy Harris there and showing a little bit of aggression as Smith happy to see it tumble over the boundary.
I mean, if you create some movement, you know, people will move with you. The opposition will move with you, but that was just everyone standing still with their hands up in the air then.
Slow ball movement, long kicks. The Sydney defence just eat that every time that's on display for them. And they've got numbers around the footy again. Player reefed out was Parker. Unlucky not to get a free kick. Nathan Jones, you know, he just tries and battles and works his heart out for the Melbourne Footy Club. No free kick on offer for him on that occasion. So it's been a pretty flat night around the MCG. The conditions are perfect. There's no reason why Melbourne have only scored 2 goals, apart from the fact they've been outplayed.
Swans been really good.
Sure have. Stung by a couple of losses in a row, this great Sydney team. High-quality players everywhere. Dom Tyson, he hacks one round the corner. And again, they've worked the loose man so effectively. Tyson saw. He looks in a bit of distress at the moment. We'll get back to that shortly. Jetta, he's had the jet-propelled action on tonight. Look at him run. He wanted it back again from Reed. We'll keep our eye on Dom Tyson behind the footy as well. He's in a bit of distress. Jetta's kick forward. Here's Good. Started as the sub. Little fumble from Goodsy. It's Tupis who worked it back to McDonald, who has been absolutely sensational, Tom McDonald.
His cross, and you can see Dom Tyson just getting back to his feet, bottom right there. Nice little loopy one over the top to Hogan, and now Salem.
Tyson's going to get this.
And there he is.
Right on.
Handball off to Vandenberg. Kicks it without a lot of real great thought, but doing the body work well was Kennedy Harris. A little bit of help from behind as well with Jeffy Garlett there.
So Dom Tyson coming from the ground, but even when you've got a small niggle, if the ball comes near you, you can always find a little bit of extra, can't you? When
just clutching at that knee, Tyson, the moment he let that kick go, and you can see landed awkwardly there. And
it's obviously an issue coming into the game.
It is. Only kicked 2 goals for the game here. Kennedy Harris with a tough one, and that's just the behind.
Richo, you mentioned you can always find the energy if the ball comes in your area. The physio and the doctor who were seeing Dom Tyson then, they did not want him getting involved. They were yelling at him to just leave it and come off the ground, but Tyson wanted to get involved.
He's had that strapping on his knee, Dom Tyson, for 3 weeks. Clearly causing him some concern. His output's down at the moment. Looks like Richards has pushed forward.
That strapping too, Dust, looks like it's strapped for a medial ligament. So obviously not a serious one, but maybe just a bit of a strain through there or a few little issues. So yeah, he looks very sore. I'm not sure whether or not they'll risk him coming back on the ground given the state of the game at the moment.
Kennedy working hard to keep it in. You can see Hanbury and Cross. A little bit of physical action. Kennedy comes in to lend some support. They have really experimented with their forward line tonight a bit. We've seen Buddy further up the ground than I can ever remember before as Jack Watts tries to fist it towards the boundary line. Can they keep it in? McVeigh strong enough through the core to stand up. It's been tip it deep. And now if you look down in the goal square, Ted Richards is playing genuine full forward, Richo. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's him there stretching right on the last line. in attack.
You talked about it very early in the game, Darson. They've rotated a lot of numbers through there tonight, a lot of different players and different setups.
Well, Teddy's eyes will light up if the ball comes his way.
Oh, yeah. I'd open it right up for him.
Oh, he'd be looking forward to this little opportunity that's been granted.
He's got space here.
And
on the
here
lead.
comes the Buddy kick. Went the lead, and Buddy went over the top to tip it, and Vince was able to cut it off.
The team that does it as well as anyone, obviously, is Hawthorn. They throw that many different players inside their forward 50 in a game.
Richo, I just wonder then, do you think Sydney are trialling a few? We talk about Hawthorn's plans B, C and D that they've worked on, as Dan Hanbury looks very sore as well. Maybe roll of the ankle too. Whether or not Sydney from last year's grand final learnt that they need a plan B or C in case things aren't working the way they want them to.
Yeah, I think so, Lingy. Why wouldn't they try different looks down there tonight? The game's well in control, so let's see if Teddy can swing forward and take a few marks.
Dan Hanbury looks really sore on this left leg, left ankle perhaps. 122 in the third remaining here. And injuries starting to mount for Sydney. Spencer's got the free here. Hanbury comes from the ground, escorted off by the dock. And looks just a little better as he gets closer to the bench. In the meantime, forward opportunity and a missed shot at goal there by... In fact, Newton's got the goal. So Melbourne have kicked their third goal. There's the Hanbury ankle injury. There you go. That's happened a couple of times tonight to different players. And got the ankle caught under the cross knee there. Hopefully he can recover from that.
Cross pirouetted out from the centre bounce. Garlick, look at that kick to Brayshaw.
3 metres back, Sam!
Best ball movement we've seen, I think, since about the first minute mark of the first quarter. And Hogan with a one-hander. Melbourne fans,
Hey, Chris.
you want to get out of your seat because that is what you want to see. Slick ball movement, young talent on display. And unfortunately, Richo, we just haven't seen enough of it.
I can't remember seeing Hogan with a chance like that tonight.
As deep as he is.
Yeah, deep, 20 metres out. Got size on Rampy. You can see Rampy there, no hope. He's a big man.
The ball wasn't kicked to his advantage either, Richo.
No, he just used his strength and good reach there.
Coming into tonight, he'd taken 13 contested marks for the year, #1 in the AFL. He would like a reward here and convert the goal. He leans back on it, 2 in a row for the Demons.
Well, you're going to see plenty more of that as a Melbourne supporter. Fair bit of hype about Jesse Hogan over the last few years. Injured all of last year. But he looks like someone who's wants the contest. Das just mentioned his contested marking. Well, his first year to be leading the contested marks in the comp, what a great achievement that is.
And I think the hype's warranted.
It is, BT. What we saw against Richmond a few weeks ago was a guy that just wants the contests, was crashing packs. If he didn't mark it, you know where it's going to come. Jeff Garland would be thinking, I can rove off this man for a few years to come.
Real competitive instinct about him.
Yeah.
Hanbury looks like he's recovering by the minute. Stewie Jew there. One of the assistants at Sydney. Pike did that cleverly to Parker. Not so clever from him as the siren sounds, and it's a comfortable Sydney lead here at three-quarter time. 46 points. Sydney 11-9-75. The Demons 4-5-29.